Content warning for profanity, violence, and adult themes. Hi, this is Coffee McCann, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 3. Enjoy! On last week's episode, thrown away was a small plastic package. The front had a picture of his blue uniform. The label was in several languages, but the English label read, Space Captain Infant Onesie. Wendell looked in the mirror. Space Captain Infant Goddamn Onesie? He shut off the light, laid down in bed, put a cool pillow against his face, and screamed into it for 45 minutes before passing out. When Wendell awoke the next morning, he couldn't figure out where he was. Then he saw the Hang In There poster with what looked like a large, rabid possum holding onto a branch. Wasn't it something else yesterday? He got up and yawned and stretched, realizing he hadn't combed his hair or brushed his teeth. Do they have toothbrushes in space? What do they use for toothpaste? And deodorant and, well, anything. For a moment he wished he had packed first, but that was ridiculous. He wished he hadn't been abducted. He was so mad. He stared at the poster, the stupid Hang In There poster, and then, without a thought, punched the stupid possum thing. The poster tore immediately. Wendell looked behind it, saw nothing, and gasped. The nothing he saw was not the regular nothing, but the most breathtaking nothing. The poster covered a porthole in the ship. Wendell, who had grown up under the haze of city lights, had not really seen the sky before. The vast darkness and foreverness of space pulled at his heart and his breath. His small existence had always been wrapped in a never-ending dark blanket. This was no dream or coma, because it would be impossible for Wendell's human mind to imagine this degree of vastness. Whoa, is what he tried to say, but it just came out as a very deep sigh. Also, at that moment, Wendell realized he had to pee. Really bad. Like, really, really bad. His cabin didn't have a bathroom, so he left to find one. Did this ship even have bathrooms? Do space aliens pee? He walked through several corridors and couldn't find anyone to ask. He checked door after door without luck. Then he walked around a bin and was both relieved and horrified. There was not a bathroom, but definitely a urinal. Not in a bathroom. Right there, in the corridor, where anyone could walk by. What the hell? Wendell had 3 anxieties: talking on the phone, haggling, and going to the bathroom not just in public, but anywhere anyone could possibly be nearby. Probably one of the main reasons he avoided public bathrooms and never had a roommate. And even though he lived alone, he still locked the bathroom door. Every single time. And here was this urinal right there in the corridor. Anyone could walk by at any time. But his bladder was bursting. Damn it. Well, buckaroo, he thought, just get it over with. Wendell sidled up to the urinal, tried zipping down his space uniform, which he refused to call a onesie, and just barely got it down in time before releasing a torrent of pee into the blue, swirling water of the urinal. He was halfway through when he noticed 3 things. 1, there was no handle to flush. 2, this urinal didn't have a drain, and his pee mixed with the blue water was getting dangerously close to overflowing. 3, it's really hard to stop when you're midstream and panicked and on a spaceship. Fortunately, the urinal didn't overflow, but it was very, very close. Physically and emotionally relieved, Wendell zipped up his uniform, not a onesie, and left. No sooner had he returned to his cabin than the ship captain, Zetz Montgomery, knocked on the cabin door. Did you sleep well, sport?
Yes, I did, thanks.
Is everything okay? Zetz asked, pointing to the torn poster.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
We put that up so you wouldn't get scared from the portal. Not everyone takes seeing space the first time well.
Oh, thank you, but I'm okay, really.
Good to hear it. Say, sport, we're doing a bit of a ceremony this morning, and would be honored if you joined us.
What sort of ceremony?
It's Kumar, our ship's pilot. Well, it's his sister's birthday.
Oh, I love birthday parties,
Wendell lied. No, it's not like that. You see, his sister, well, a few years ago we were being chased by some unsavory characters, and she was one of the ship mechanics. And a blast from their lasers shot out an external drive hyper adapter.
Is that bad?
Well, only if you want your ship to move. So she climbed out to the ship to repair it. Kumar was furious. But none of us could stop her. She got it working again, but on her way back to the ship, a laser shot out her spacesuit's life support unit. We tried to get her, but we were too late. She was blown too far away from the ship. And if we had waited another second, we would have all died from the attack ship.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you, sport. You would have really liked her. She had a great sense of humor and wasn't nearly as violent as Kumar. So, on her birthday, we gather at her memorial and Kumar sings a prayer.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I would love to go. Thank you for inviting me.
Great. Well, let's go. It's starting soon. Wendell followed Zetz down the corridors. Zetz, usually chipper, seemed solemn, lost in his thoughts. They went down some more corridors, then Wendell froze. The crew was standing around, well, not a memorial, but a very full urinal, right there in the corridor. Zetz asked, "What happened to it? Did anyone mess with the water?" "No," the crew replied, horrified at the thought that anyone would mess with the sacred blue spirit water of Kumar's home planet. Benny, the ship engineer, asked,
"Why is it green?"
And staring at the grim water was the largest bird Wendell had ever seen. Well, bird-man or man-bird. Kumar was humanoid, easily 6'5" and pure muscle. He wore torn jeans, scuffed boots, and a Kulla concert shirt and a leather bomber jacket. He had the head of a hawk and his feathers ruffled as he looked at his sister's memorial and sacred water. "It smells weird." Dolly, the ship navigator, came up and took his hand.
"We'll figure that out later, sweetie. I'm sure it will be fine. Besides, this is about your sister, Goldie."
At that, the ceremony begun. They all wished Goldie a happy birthday, and each took turns saying something they remembered about her, so she would never be forgotten. Wendell learned that Goldie liked asparagus, warm lemonade, lemon-flavored ice cream, and everyone agreed that she was number one. After the ceremony, Kumar cooed a beautiful song of remembrance. It was a lovely ceremony, but Wendell couldn't help but keep one eye on the tainted spirit water that was on the cusp of spilling. He also noticed on the ceiling was a small video camera with a flashing red light. What? Was there surveillance video? After the ceremony, Wendell got a tour of the rest of the ship, which was essentially a cargo bay, crammed with crates. When Wendell asked what was in them, he was told toys for all the happy boys and girls. But Zetz had whispered to Benny, "Don't tell him it's CONTRABAND." They ate breakfast together, and Wendell again asked where he was headed and why. And again the crew knew nothing more than they had been hired to bring him from Earth to Pariah 7. Wendell asked,
"Does the paper say who hired you?"
Benny said,
"Oh yeah, it did say something."
He pulled the facsimile back out of his many pockets and looked over it.
"It says here that St. Tetanus Medical Center. Does that help?" "Kind of, I guess. I'm a doctor."
Everyone looked at Wendell and got quiet. Really, really quiet. Someone coughed. Kumar asked, You're they let you be
"Yes. I pretty much graduated from medical school. It was just the ceremony left, and I was accepted to St. Tedious residency training on Earth. But I've never heard of St. Tetanus. I have no idea what's going on."
Horrified, Benny said,
"A doctor? He's a MORON."
Dolly was about to scold Benny when a notification bell rang. Thankful for the chance to change the topic, Zetz said, "Oh, we're coming up to the wormhole. Say, sport, why don't you come up to the flight deck? We have a surprise for you." On arriving to the flight deck, Benny pointed to something and said,
"We fixed the seat up for you if you want to sit up here and watch the show."
The seat was gray and blue with a 5-point harness, and the top of it had a mobile of several odd-looking animals spinning through stars.
"Go ahead, touch it. That's real leather from the planet Corinthia."
Zetz smiled. "It's built to grow with you, in case you ever, decide to come on more trips with us." After getting crammed in with his arms and legs sticking out, Wendell looked at the rest of the flight deck, which wasn't much. A large windshield wrapped around, and Kumar sat at, well, one would assume it was the pilot's seat, but it wasn't like any pilot's seat on a plane or in any science fiction movie Wendell had ever seen. Instead of blinking buttons and switches and little metal dice, Kumar was sitting in a large bucket seat. His left hand rested on a steering wheel, and his right hand was resting on one of 2 gear selectors sticking out of the floor. The instrument panel looked like an old dashboard, with a speedometer, tachometer, and fuel gauges. There was also a rear-view mirror with an unnecessary amount of tree-shaped air fresheners hanging off. Kumar's boots rested on 3 pedals. His right was gently pushing what Wendell assumed to be the accelerometer. Next to it was a brake pedal. And then there was a 3rd pedal to the left.
"What's that left pedal for?"
Wendell asked.
"Which one? This one? That's the clutch."
"Huh. I've never seen that on an Earth car before."
On the floorboard, next to Kumar's right, there was a red stick with a lock in the middle and 2 outward-facing curved bars at each end.
"What's that stick thing for?"
"Oh, that's our anti-theft device. I call it the club."
"Do you lock it inside the steering wheel, so if anyone tries to steal the ship, they can't turn it?"
Kumar held up the stick and smiled.
"No. If I see someone trying to steal the ship, I club them to death with it."
"Oh."
Wendell noticed the red on the stick was not paint.
"We'll be at the gate in a minute."
"The gate?"
"Gate, booth, whatever you want to call it. It's to the wormhole."
I don't understand."
"It's how to travel long distances in a short period of time. Here, look at this."
Kumar took a piece of paper and drew one dot at the top and one dot at the bottom.
Say you want to get from this point at the top to this point at the bottom.
Okay.
Most of the time you have to travel along a straight line down the page, which can take light years and may not even be feasible. You dig?
Yeah, so far.
But instead, imagine there are areas that can do this.
Kumar folded the page in half so the two dots were now touching.
Now, you travel along this new path between the folded paper, and it'll take you much less time.
And you can do that anywhere?
Good question, but no. There are certain places in the galaxy that have these special tunnels or wormholes.
Wendell began picking at the car seat arms.
Are they safe?
For the most part, yeah. Each wormhole only goes in one direction, and as long as you keep a safe distance from the others, no problem.
What happens if you try to go the opposite way into a wormhole?
Nothing really, you just can't. The forces are too strong and they push you back. It's like trying to push magnets together the wrong way.
Benny hopped up to the cockpit.
That sub-out relay is just about fried. I was able to patch it together until we can replace it at the next station. Go easy on her until then.
Will do. Oh, shit, it's Jeff.
The crew groaned as the ship pulled up to a large floating toll booth. Wendell asked,
Who's Jeff?
Benny grimaced.
He manages some of the toll booths. He also keeps track of who is going through and tips off bounty hunters and killbots.
And he's a snitch. And snitches get...
Snitches get stitches,
Wendell said in an attempt to be cool. The crew froze and looked at him. Zetz asked, Why would you say that? Kumar said,
I was about to say snitches get excluded from social gatherings. Stitches? Really? Is that appropriate?
Before Wendell could flounder his way to an answer, they were at the large floating toll booth before a large floating wall. Inside was a greenish, troll-like figure with tentacles for a beard. Kumar waved high, and Jeff pointed a surly finger at the exterior coin basket. Kumar slid out a small pipe from the ship and dropped some large coins through, which then went through an airlock and towards the coin basket. But just before they fell in, Jeff turned off the booth's artificial gravity. His tentacle beard floated up towards his face as the coins floated away from the basket.
Dick move,
come
man.
on.
At the last second, Jeff turned the artificial gravity back on, the coins fell, and the large panel opened. As they left, Jeff and Benny took turns flipping each other off. They were now in a long queue for the wormhole, which looked like the rest of space, but darker and swirly. In a few moments, a caravan of large ships with inflatable rings around them got in behind them. Benny saw them, and his little mechanical body whirred and clicked as he hopped up and down in excitement.
Oh boy, turn on the radio.
Hello, all. Planning a party, a day out, an employee activity? Then come join the fun at Bump Off, where we are all about fun with the ultimate bumper ship experience. Pit Megaton against Megaton in a megaton of fun. Our ships provide hours of fun for all. Sign up today.
Bump Off is a subsidiary of Premium Caskets Incorporated and is not responsible for death, decapitation, fractured bones, missing bones, extra limbs, disembowelment, traumatic genital spongeball, enucleation, cardiac explosion, cardiac implosion, toesplosion, suffocation, lost windpipes, spinal pretzelization, internal and external burns, blender brain, total body dislocation, death, or tennis elbow.
Benny grinned. Well, not ear to ear, but maybe eye to eye.
Have you ever ridden on one, Wendell?
No, we have bumper cars, but they're nothing like that.
Oh, they're the best. They take you out into some area that is totally isolated, and you get to go wild.
Benny got an excited look in his eye and looked over at Zetz.
Hey, Zetz, can we...
No time, cut off Zetz. Benny scowled.
You suck, Zetz. Next time, I will have my bumper ship ride.
His many little eyes narrowed.
I swear it.
Zetz patiently sighed.
Sure, Benny, but not today. But for now, let's focus on avoiding contract killbots.
Wendell squeaked.
Killbots? What are those? Oh, that's right. You're not familiar. Here's a quick rundown because this episode is already exposition heavy. Instead of what on Earth are called laws, the galaxy works on contracts. Lots and lots and lots of contracts. And all contracts have robot enforcers called contract killbots, to whom you can state your case and make a rational argument before they pulverize you.
Wendell asked,
But what if you're right? Your next of kin has the right to a posthumous appeal. And there are exemption services, of course. Oh, well, that's good. It's good if you can afford one. Most exemption services cost more in 1 week than what we'll see in our lifetime. But they do have a free 7-second trial period, so that's nice.
Zetz saw the look of worry on Wendell's face.
But don't you worry. We haven't seen hardly any contract killbots this trip. If we do run into one, you'll hear the klaxon. And if that happens, come find one of us right away. Got it?
Got it, Wendell said, trying to keep his legs from shaking. Wendell stayed a while with the crew and talked, but then went back to his cabin and looked out the porthole. Looked out at the nothingness, but it wasn't all nothingness. Out there, far away, was a small blue planet that was his home, where his fiancée, Gail, must be beside herself, missing him and worried. The thought of poor, lonely Gail out there made his emptiness feel much more empty, if that's even possible. And with heavy thoughts and a heavy heart, our hero climbed into bed. His mind raced, but soon exhaustion took over and tucked him in. And he slept soundly until... Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying listening to Wendell's trek. He's just about to the mysterious planet Pariah 7. And if you're enjoying this show, please send it to someone. There's nothing in the mailbag for this week, but I love hearing from you. So if you have something to say or a question about the show, or even a question of one of the members of the crew of the Starship Scam Likely, write in and I'll read it on the show and the characters will give an answer. So until next week, be kind to others, be super duper kind to yourself, and as always, remember to laugh. Bye.
Hi, this is Benny, your favorite Benzonian ship engineer. Just here to say you've experienced one of the 3 golden tools in writing, the exposition dump. When used along with tell, don't show, pointless dialogue, and Deus Ex Machina, my favorite, it can save hours of writing time, but you still get the same discount storytime quality you've learned to settle for. You're welcome.